Eva Beach, Hawaii, kind of on the borderline. Um, yeah, I had a few minutes to talk, and I thought, well, why not? It's just whatever's up with Bob, whenever. I just try my best to share with you and people around the world what's happening. There's a lot of really specific things I can talk about, like Hong Kong, communist Hong Kong, the world situation, uh, the spiritual life that'd be easy to talk about, my living situation, and now of course we have the new dog right there. So that's him. Okay. So I thought I'd show you. I grew up with dogs, so I kind of know good dogs and dogs that aren't that great. This is a really good dog. I've only had him 24 hours, but I can tell. And really, I could say no problems with him at all. So, uh, so that's really good. So I thought I'd show him to you. His name is Johnny or John Wayne. There you go. He got a haircut and a bath, which was much needed. They don't really know his exact age, but they're guessing around 2 years old. And he's calm. He's a calm dog, so he'll lay in the chair for like all day. And he then when you go out, he's ready to go out. So he smells food. What happened was that I think people would, in the past, when he was chained up, people would throw him scraps of food at times. So he kind of got used to eating people food. But he also eats dried dog food. And when I set it out for him, he was fine with it. So healthy dog. I'm very happy to have him. And I'm working on the paperwork now because, like most places, you have to get permission if you're renting or you don't own your house. You have to get the permission from the people who run the place. And I'm working on that paperwork now. They're working with me on it, and the doctor, because the doctor's going to have him come in. He's going to prescribe him to me, actually. And so we're working on that. But if nothing else, the best case scenario is that I get to keep him for a long time. And the worst case is I made it so his life's a lot better. And then someone else can take care of him, hopefully a good family. But I'm working hard on keeping him. Adapts really well to the cats. Again, just last night, he slept like a baby. He didn't make a noise at all and slept very soundly. And then the cats are kind of fenced off from him now to kind of see how they're doing. There's two cats, and they kind of came out and peeked their head out and sat there and just watched him from the fence. But no problems, no hissing, no growling, nothing like that. They just looked at each other. So I'm pretty sure give him 4 or 5 more days, and then I'll take the fence down, and then it should be okay. Then of course they're going to go up and sniff each other, and see how that goes. But everything is good. There he is right there. Just goes out. I took him for a walk today, and likes to go out, likes to be petted, likes to sit on my lap. Also can sit by himself. So that's all good. So it was interesting this morning because he really needed a bath and he needed to have some other things done at the pet shop. So I arranged it immediately. I called different shops and they said, oh, well, you can bring him in 3 days. We've got an opening. And I said, no, I got to get him there tomorrow, which was yesterday. And I found a shop not far from my house. It's a chain of shops called Smart Pet, I think it's called. And it's like Petco. They took him in right away. And, they had windows. I could watch him getting cut and shampooed. And I would guess that's the first time he's ever had that happen because his hair was really long and dirty. And he never had his hair cut. He never had a bath, probably since he was born. And all that was new. But he he did real well. I mean, he didn't bark or try to get away or anything. It just was a new experience. So I sat there and watched for most of it. And then when he came out, it was like totally different. I mean, his hair, he looks like a different animal. You can actually see his colors, and he doesn't like say bark at all. So we'll cry a little bit if if I go away from him for he might cry, but very rarely, a little bit. And so it's a really good dog, and he smells great. You know, perfect smell. So he'll be welcome now in the house, and everything is really good. I've had a lot of good news the last couple of days, so that's all good. I'm in this shopping mall, which I've never been to before. Just 5-minute drive from my house, and I'm right in the middle between two really nice shopping areas, and so this one has a Macy's and a big shop, a lot of shops here. So I came over because that's where the pet shop was. I came over here, and I'd never been here before. I'd driven by it, but I didn't never stop by. They have a lot of restaurants here, good places to eat. Olive Garden, um, so many of them, right? That you can go and have sit-down meals, and it's kind of a walk-in. It's not like an indoor shopping mall or anything like that. It's outdoors because in Hawaii you don't really need an indoor shopping mall, that's for sure. And very pleasant. And I'll show you around a little bit. Just a place where people can sit, which is where we're sitting, and have their meal. I'm actually at the grocery store. I went and bought a drink over there, and you can see there he is right there. Very, very good dog. And looking at the shopping mall, but kind of people watching a bit as they walk by. And the grocery store it's called Foodland. It's a really good grocery store. They serve a lot of high-end, high-quality things there, or they sell it, and they have a lot of food that they've pre-made, that you can buy. And so I went over and got a few things because I got to sit here for about another hour and about an hour till the van comes. I actually took the Uber here because there was a change in the schedule. The groomer called and said, "Oh, you have to bring him in earlier than normal because I've got something that happened. I need to take care of." And so I had a van coming at a certain time, and then I tried to change that time to an earlier time, so it was not possible to do. So I called the Uber. It's the first time I've ever used an Uber before. It was really easy, but it was like $12, whereas normally I just pay a couple of $2 and for a trip anywhere on the island. So, but I had to do it simply because I needed to take care of the dog, and I decided that was worth it. And the guy was really nice. He'd had dogs before, and we had a chat. Took me right to the door. It's like, say, 5 minutes from my house, really close. Definitely worth the trip. So now I'm waiting for the van to take me back. And Sunday I have to go. Tomorrow I'm going to stay home most of the day. Just going to stay with the animals, kind of clean up the house. I've got someone coming, a guest coming on Sunday, a family member. So I'm going to make sure the house is in perfect order and get all the animals set up properly. Just stay home tomorrow. Saturday I have church at the homeless camp or houseless camp, which is where this dog came from. And the story on that was I had someone send a comment and say, how did you take the animal from the owner? First of all, he didn't have an owner. He had a microchip, and then they ran the microchip at the Humane Society, and they couldn't contact the owner. So I think what happened was someone had him, and then maybe ran off, or they abandoned him when he was young. And then one of the houseless people who I happen to know picked him up, and they had a couple of dogs. And she asked me just 2 weeks ago, she said, Pastor Bob, she said, would you take one of my dogs? And I asked her about this dog, and she said, well, he's stupid. That's how she phrased it. And he was really, I felt, not being treated right. And even the other dog wasn't being treated right, but this one was not being treated right. He was chained up to a 2-foot chain, and nobody paid attention to him. And I people would walk by and he'd wag his tail and want them to pay attention to him or pet him, and they would just walk by him, ignore him. And so I thought, boy, that's not a good life. So when the woman just disappeared, I would guess she either committed suicide or she died, because she was gone, totally gone, and just abandoned her animals. And I know she really loved the other dog a lot. So for her, something must have happened. I'm trying to find out now what happened to her, but no one knows what happened to her. And her comment the week before she disappeared was very odd when she asked me to take over her animal. So I thought that was a very strange comment. She said, well, if something would happen to me. And I was like, that's odd. So I'm trying to track her down a bit, but no one knows where she's at. She's been gone now 3 or 4 weeks. And the one dog she was really close to, which was a little bit aggressive, protective, of her. It tried to growl and bark at people. They found that dog walking around in the park, just abandoned, and this dog was still chained up. So they captured that dog in the park and took him to some place like a humane society place. And this one was chained up. So I unchained it, called the Humane Society, which was a different humane society, which I know about, and they treat their dogs great there. And I took him, the officer came out and took him, he had the legal right to do that. And then he said, you'll be the first one that he can get him. So they called me right away. They did all the medical on him and said he's ready to go. So I went and got him. And that was the story there. And I'm trying to still find out what happened to the lady. He was chained up outside the door. And he was definitely being mistreated. When I found him, he had absolutely no water. Someone had thrown some dried dog food down. The first time I saw him, he was totally without food. And the second time, someone threw a cup of dried food down. Who knows how long he'd been from not eating. But the worst thing was it's really hot there. And he had absolutely no water in his bowl at all. It's totally empty. So I filled it up twice. And it's probably like a half gallon of water. He drank it all at one time. And that means he was really thirsty. So at that point, I said, he's probably going to die unless someone does something. So I took him over, and he's going to have a great life. I'm going to take good care of him. And he also helps me out. And there you go. I'll give you a nice shot. Don't know what kind of dog he is. Everybody asks that question. A terrier mix, maybe. And all I know is he's a good dog. But, if you had to choose one that had a certain breed or look, I don't think you'd choose him. He's got really short legs, and it's kind of like a Dachshund or whatever they call that, short legs and a long body. But he definitely is a mix, I think, and healthy. So I was really happy about that. And the shopping area here is really pleasant. I mean, you just sit here. Look, hey man, I got my shoes off. I'm relaxed. And the weather's perfect. It's like 2:00 in the afternoon. I'll get home around 4, probably 3:30 or 4. It's just down the road. It's not really something you'd want to walk. It'd be probably 35-minute walk from here to my house. Don't really want to do that. So 5-minute by drive from my house. And very nice area of this island. A good area to live in, actually. And so I hadn't been here before to the shopping area. And they have like a lot of places here to eat and fast food places. They have a Jollibee for people who like Filipino fast food. They have a real nice one. I didn't go in it, but it looks like a very nice one. And so, yeah, quite happy about it. Coffee shops, if I just want to come over and sit all day and have a cup of coffee and go on the internet, pretty easy to do. And then I walked over when I took him out for a walk this morning. I went to the recreation center. which is part of my housing development. It's free. Anybody who lives in that particular neighborhood gets to use it for free. And we're the only apartment place in that entire building area. The rest of them are like the houses start at about $1 million. They're houses, and so I went over there and looked, and they have a lap pool. They have a recreation pool. You know, they have a rec center. I do know they do some classes there. Yeah, why not? You know, it's free, so I'm going to get that arranged. So yeah, life is good. You know, enjoying life. I've got. I'm working hard. I do the outreach to the houseless place, and I can really expand that. You know, it's really easy to do, but I've got to put my mind to that because it'd be a lot of work to do that, and I'm willing to do that, but I've got to just do it where it doesn't become consuming because I have a great life, and so I don't want to like just be consumed with that. But I understand the importance of it. And then the second thing I can do is I'm working hard on getting the Hong Kong people here who are fleeing communist Hong Kong. And I've got a group of people now that I'm working with. We're all working together, and it definitely is possible, and we've got it set up. So I'm working on that, getting that kind of off the ground. The first person probably will be coming. I know the first person will be coming within, we hope, 1 month to 2 months. And that's going to get everything kind of set up to see how it works. And hey, people want to leave there and have a better life. And if I can help in some way, I mean, you can go anywhere. You can go to London, you can go to New York, San Francisco, but I focus on this island, Oahu. And I think it's a really good place to come live because if people are willing to work hard and they don't mind starting off and trying to improve their life, whatever their age, even up to elderly people, it's very, very easy to live here. Jobs are everywhere, but you know, depends on your skill. But everyone can get a job who comes here. So I think that's going to be great, you know. And we've got it now kind of set up for a small group of people with housing. So we got to see how to expand that with the housing. So that's a real big focus for me is the fleeing Hong Kong people. And, you know, I'm not interested in having people just come here on a holiday. I really don't want to spend my time with people who are just traveling around on a holiday. Whatever they do, they find their own way to do that. I want to find people who really have to leave because they understand Hong Kong is dangerous for their future and their children's future. And it's all, you know, that's where I want to focus in on. And I've got friends now that have come here, and they're in the process of applying for refugee status from Hong Kong. So I'm really, you know, I'm really happy about the people I've met. So that's it. I thought I'd let you know. I've been on the video now for like 20 minutes, and I appreciate all the people who are online now. I don't really usually check the comments because it doesn't really work. I'm using my telephone. It says, thank you, Ken Davis said, thank you for doing this. And it's someone from my high school years before, a little bit before I went to high school. And so I want to just say thank you. And I read your comments too. And I appreciate so much what you do with the website that you host, and also your comments about where you're living and how you respond to people who make, you know, send you messages and things like that. And yeah, if you ever get in my way, just let me know, you know. But yeah, thank you for that. It's always a bit of a tough decision because I really love my life here, and I could just enjoy it. You know, I could kick back and do everything I wanted to do and just enjoy it. But it wouldn't really involve trying to help other people or be part of other people's life. It'd just be kind of selfish doing what I want to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, lots of people do that, but I'm not that way. So, but I am trying to minimize how much I do so I don't get overwhelmed because I really do want to enjoy my life. And, you know, several years ago, I started posting about dogs who were rescue dogs and cats. And I mentioned and I posted on my Facebook videos about that. And now I get to do it. You know, I get to go to the place where they rescue, and I get to bring in some and live with them. And we'll see where that goes. There you go. There he is right there. I had a lot of people that gave me suggestions for names. I read each one, and there were a lot of good ones there that I really liked. Of course, they were all good. And I watched a John Wayne movie a few nights ago, you know, like a World War II, where he was in a World War II movie, and I liked it. And I thought, yeah, John Wayne, you know, I named him John Wayne because, first of all, I like John Wayne. And secondly, I kind of feel he's like a survivor. All the movies he's in, he's always a survivor, and he comes out on top, you know, at the end of the movie. And I thought, yeah, that John Wayne would be right, because this dog is definitely a survivor, and he remains happy. You know, how he remains happy, I don't know. So I made the decision to name him John Wayne, and then just short, we'll call him Johnny. Someone I saw that yesterday said, "Oh, we'll just call him Johnny." And I thought, okay, that's easy, Johnny, you know. But if I am asked what his name is, I'll say Johnny. And I'm watching the airlines fly over, going to the airport. So that's really nice. I'll be there in about 2 days meeting somebody at the airport, or 3 days. So that'll be fun. There you go. He just puts his head on my chest. Pretty much that's it. I doubt if anybody ever petted him at home in his life or touched him. I doubt it, because how he was living, I just think they put a chain around his neck when he was a very young puppy, and that was it. He was chained up the rest of his life, and people just walked by him and ignored him. I don't know if people kicked him or mistreated him or something. I think maybe he got kicked because I moved my foot kind of like in his direction the other day, just walking or something. I don't remember what happened. And he reacted really strongly. You know, he jumped back because I think that had happened to him before he got kicked. And of course, that didn't happen with me. But now he's learning to trust, you know, he's having to learn to trust people. The same way with animals, other dogs, he'll let them get about say 5 feet from him or 6 feet, and then he'll very silently start to growl, because, you know, he was living around wild dogs, you know, and I'm sure he grew up having to protect himself. So, but he doesn't like try to bite or attack or anything like that. But he growls because that's his only form of defense. And it'll take him a while to get used to being around other animals and stuff. But he's doing fine. He doesn't even react. He doesn't even react when he sees my 2 cats. He just looks at them. So I don't know why. He must have seen cats at some point. So that's it. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. And I'm enjoying my life. I'll show you around a little again. Foodland's a really nice shopping grocery store. It's just behind me. And good food there, good drinks. And here in the flight school, let's see, the last one was Hawaiian Airlines. Let's see what this one is, if I can tell. There you go. Isn't that nice? Yeah, looking at the parking lot's not the greatest thing. I don't have my glasses on. Can't tell which flight that is, but it's kind of fun to watch the flights come in. And a lot of the trees have flowers here on blossoms. And I don't know anything about plants and flowers, but you can see a lot of trees with blossoms on them. I went and bought 2 or 3 new plants. Yeah, I have plants in my house that I'm growing, and I have really great windows for growing plants. They're big, they face the sun, and they've got a ledge on them inside the house. So it's going to be really nice to put the plants up And I've got flowering plants, and I've got, ones with just leaves. And I'm trying my best to make them grow. The two of them that I first got are growing really fine. They're growing quite fast. And the other ones, I bought 3 the other day. I'm trying it out. They're flowering plants. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, that's it, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this, and thank you for stopping in. For those who are listening, and I hope you have a great week wherever you are in the world. And Hawaii, I could just say it like this: living the dream. That's the best way I could put it. So we'll let Johnny say goodbye. Johnny, say goodbye. Say goodbye. Like say bark. So which is good. If I say goodbye and he doesn't bark, I think that's a good thing. Okay. Take care, everybody.